I got a feeling that you got me covered too. I got you covered. I got you covered.
Hi everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? I'm wearing one of my new Christmas presents. I got a new pashmina. Welcome in Juan. Welcome in New Horizons. Welcome in Indigo. Welcome on in. As you all saw, very very windy day outside. That's for sure. It is quite windy. And a little bustly outside for sure. So this is a topic that I just kind of thought about for a minute because I really want everybody to kind of have a little bit of new perspective on maybe getting into the New Year's. Now, we're going to be doing this today. Excuse me. And I'm also going to be doing this from a perspective of faith-based as well. So it's going to come from, hi, what's art? This is going to come from both sides. Now, you guys can put hashtag bless if you want people to connect with your channel. This is going to come this way, and I'm going to do a faith-based kind of one, but I'll put that in a video form. And so tonight we're going to talk about this. Tomorrow we're going to talk about choosing connection over perfection. Tomorrow, and then on the 31st, we will actually be going. My son-in-law had a death in his family, so we'll be going up to where the service is so that we could be there for my daughter and son-in-law and their family. So you may catch us on a drive. Now on the 1st, just to kind of give you a layout, let the notifications get out there for YouTube before we start into the core of all this. On the 1st, we're going to talk about how you can take your YouTube channel, doesn't have to be monetized, and make it into a legacy channel. And then on the 2nd, hopefully if I get everything done, we're going to show you some of the new merch. You kind of got to see it with the thumbnail that we made for it. New year, new merch. So I have to recheck this computer. I was having issues doing some of the stuff. Fonzo and I have kind of teamed up together and we're helping each other. And I just was one of those days cold. My sciatic nerve was kind of having issues tonight, and I was today, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything. We're tired from this weekend. So I really kind of just took it easy today, and I really think I needed that. I'm still kind of getting over whatever this thing is. I never did take antibiotics, so that was good. But, and my mother says, I think that, as wonderful as this time is with Christina and the baby coming, it's also stressful. Her body's changing every day, and so we're kind of allowing her, if she needs to fuss or if she's kind of edgy or grumpy or something like that, she can call and just fuss with us. And of course, I don't think I'm going to be able to kind of totally go until the baby's born, till we kind of get that going. So, kind of breathing, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully on, Saturday we'll have all the new, at least some of the new merchandise out, and we'll be growing that too as well as we go further, and the new logo will be out as of January 2nd. You guys are going to love the new logo. It's still the same, it's just a little bit, we just upped the notch on everything a little bit. You can see it from the one shirt, what is going to come out with the Be Proud of Being Yourself shirts and so forth. So we have that, and I'm going to be putting together the dog video for the hat, and I was hoping that all the devotions would come out before before January 31st or December 31st, and it's not. So I'm just going to I've got K done, but I still probably half the alphabet left of the Advent. And I'm going to really work on those, and we'll just get them all released. I'm going to tell you this, they will be out by January 31st. And really anything within those devotions for the Advent really can be used all year long, and to reflect on even when it's not Christmas, and it'll still be in an Advent playlist for you to use next year or what have you. So I already have the new one picked out, and I'm hoping to schedule that and get some of the stuff done so we're more on track. That is one of my New Year's resolutions. So with 6 people here, if you can share this out, I would very much appreciate it. If you could be active in the chat, make sure you're hitting those thumbs up. We would appreciate it too as well. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about a new year does not mean a new you. And I think that that's very important, because I think what we get to is we get to the new year and we have about 10 things we want to work on. I want to drink more water. I want to lose weight. I want to exercise more. I want to do this, and we get overwhelmed. And I think also, even if we don't get overwhelmed, even if we just say we're going to, we're just going to work on this one thing, it still falls by the wayside. And I think that if we remember, just because we're going into a new year does not mean that we're going into a new you necessarily. And I think that at New Horizons, I will be running some of your playlists tomorrow. I just wanted to remind you that I was going to do that for both of your channels. I appreciate you helping out with ours. Hi, the Bud Files. What we want to remember is this. We're continually refining ourselves. It doesn't matter whether it's a new year or not. For instance, I am leaving 2025, going into 2026 as Yaya, which is grandmother in Greek. Something new is coming into my life in 2026, and I'm kind of redefining myself a little bit. So if we remember that it's not, let's just put up all these different resolutions that normally never work out. I have never, ever been able to necessarily get a resolution to work out. So, and again, a new year doesn't mean a new you. It means a redefine you. So every January, every January, we're told to renovate ourselves, right? Let's renovate ourselves. Let's do all these different changes. But you have to remember the core of everything. That's my printer guy, sorry. The core of everything, you are you, right? At the very core, I'm me. I'm not going to change. I think I'm going to struggle with the lack of, I tend to be a procrastinator. I tend to be a procrastinator, and I think I will be for the rest of my life. Okay? I struggle with that. Here's another thing that I struggle with. I can be a procrastinator, but at the same time, I also am dealing with a chronic illness. And that chronic illness, sometimes I'm not necessarily procrastinating. I just don't have the energy. I've used up, if you all are familiar with the spoons, I have a certain amount of spoons in the day, and I've used them all up, maybe the day before. Maybe I'm dealing with, the lack of sleep the night before. Part of fibromyalgia and chronic pain can be insomnia. So maybe I'm not sleeping well the night before, and I really have no energy. I may have to take a nap or two during the day. I just may not have the energy to go. I may have to take a step back. So sometimes, yes, perfectionist, absolutely. Sometimes part of it's not necessarily procrastination, as I'm just not able to do whatever I had on my to-do list for that day, because my chronic illness has trumped it. And I have to be able to determine, is this procrastination and you're having a pretty good day? Or like today, no, this isn't procrastination. I'm really struggling today. I have to be able to balance that. So new routines, new goals, new visions of who you're supposed to be. But really, growth doesn't come from erasing yourself. It comes from redefining what's already there. I love that. I think what we want to do every year is we want to just go, okay, let's erase ourselves and start all new. Yeah, we're starting a new year, but you're not starting a totally new you. Okay? I want my grandbabies to know me as who I am, but I'm going to age like a steak is, or like a bottle of wine, right? Or cheese. Some of those aged cheese take a long time to to really refine themselves and make them really, delicious to taste, right? Um, so we have to remember that. Hi, Brooke. Hi, Brooke. We have to remember that. We have to remember that we're not trying to erase ourselves. That's not growth. Growth is working with what you have already. Okay? And then continuing to do it. If I would have said to myself, boy, oh boy, this channel is never going to get over 2,000 and just quit. Which I'm telling you, there were times I sure felt like it. I would have mixed the growth that happened during the struggle. There was struggle that happened for myself personally while that whole thing was happening. And now it's a different kind of thing. Or when there was times when the chat wasn't very busy or people weren't showing up and I felt like everybody kind of forgot about me. They forgot about this channel and just never going to happen. I'd have missed all that. I really learned a lot of persistence and keep going. Be there for the people that are showing up. Be there for yourself. Show up for yourself and keep going and don't quit. I learned a lot in that whole thing. So every year does not mean you need to start over. I think that's daunting to think of that. Okay? If you're someone that says, listen, I need to work out more. Okay? And gentle hugs to your mom, Amby. If you're somebody that says, I need to do a little bit more working out. Thank you, Brooke. I need to do some more working out. It doesn't mean that you need to just start all new, just do a whole new plan. Maybe all it means is that you need to say, okay, I've done 15 minutes of walking every day for the past 3 months. So next year, I'm just going to add 5 minutes for another 3 months to my already 15, which you couldn't have walked very far outside today if you guys saw the live earlier. Woo, it's been very, very cold and breezy. It almost knocked me over. So instead of maybe saying, you know what, let me do 15 minutes and let me scratch that and go for a half an hour. You may really struggle to do that. So instead of, doing that, just add 5 more minutes for 3 months. Right? That may seem more, tangible than adding 15. You may just say, forget it, I can't do that, and scrap the whole thing. Then all the growth and progress you've done for 3 minutes, went out the window. So instead, say, okay, I've done 15 minutes for the past 3 months. I'm going to now do 20 minutes for 3 months. And then at the end of 3 months, I'm going to add 5 more minutes. Maybe drinking water, I struggle with that. It's very hard. So if you say, listen, I've gotten 2 of these down in a day, I'm going to shoot for half of a bottle more. You're growing that in a way that makes it accessible where you're not just scrapping everything that you just did. That being said, the way I see it, it's not trying to totally be a different person, but trying to be a better person, to push yourself to be the best you can be, not totally changing who you are. And guys, at the very end of this, I've created a song. I'll have to go out in a video. But it is our theme song for this topic through Suno. It's absolutely awesome. I love it. It's your theme song to remember that this year, really work on being proud of who you are, right? And then redefining and making yourself even better. So, You already built experience and skills and resilience. Build on that. I have experience that I didn't have when we started this channel back at the very beginning. And I'm not talking when we started it. I'm talking when we did our first live. You should go look at it. I have learned so much since January of 23. And I continue to learn. I've started learning and I've started working a little bit with ChatGPT. And I was kind of like, I don't want to do anything with AI. And I think that you need to do something with AI to a limit, right? But I'm starting to use it for thumbnails. I'm starting to use it for topics, right? I'm starting to use it to help guide me a little bit. This thumbnail was done through AI because I started to see, wait a minute, when I am doing things, I'm noticing something's happening. Some of our merch was created from AI. I said, I want you to do this and this and this. I'm like, this is what was in my head for that Proud of Being Me for a year, and I haven't been able to figure it out. And now it's done it. So I'm learning that. I'm building the experience. I'm building up on YouTube. I'm learning that. I'm building my skill set. And I'm telling you, it is helping me be more resilient. And you can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you have not yet, so people can connect with your channel. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up and you make sure you're connected with us. So the past year does not disappear at midnight. At midnight, it's not like Cinderella and all the evening goes poof. Your past year worth of experience and the things that you have gone through have built to who you are at that point. Like, I'm planning to tell this little one way down the road, but one thing that I want to say to this little one a little bit throughout its life is you have people surrounding you. You've got your parents, you've got your other grandparents, you've got me, which is Yaya, which is grandmother for Greek. You have your Papu, which is grandfather for Greek. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ambi, for coming on in. You've got your Nana, which is Mama, blessed to crochet. And, she's going to be Nana. You've got your great grandmother. You've got people in the church. You've got all these people, right, surrounding you, full of life experience. Hi, Indigo. And you may sit there and think, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Hi, Shatikwa. They do. They're trying to keep you from hitting the same pitfalls that they don't want you to see you go through. The same pain they don't want to see you have to go through. So your past year does not mean at midnight, it's gone. Your experience is valuable. I've lived X amount of years in this lifetime, right? I have experience with raising a child with autism, being able to get a service animal, going through divorce, going through an abusive relationship in my first marriage, having fibromyalgia, having a chronic pain, dealing with bullying when I was young, dealing with all certain kind of stuff that hopefully someone can use and be able to help them for what they're going through. My dad had dementia, so forth and so on. Somebody may be able to use that in their lifetime. So maybe it'll help somebody else. So your experience is valuable and it just doesn't disappear at midnight. Growth means carrying forward what you've worked on, or growth means carrying forward what worked and adjust what didn't. You don't need to make a brand new identity. You need clarity. I love that. Listen to this. You don't need to make a brand new identity. You need to make clarity. We were in our Bible study yesterday, and there was, she gave us this packet. Oh, that's good, Indigo. She gave us this packet, and she said, do a brain dump. Okay? Before Christmas, she does a brain dump, and at the end of the year, she does one. Just put everything in there. So maybe you're going to look and say, listen, you know what? This didn't work. For instance, let's look at the Advent devotions, right? I realize now I should have realized it the year before, and I didn't, but I did better than I did this year. And then I realized this year, you cannot wait until right in there to do it. It doesn't work. You're going to be behind the eight ball, and these are not going to come out when they're supposed to come out. So next year, you got to do a better job at this. Because even saying, oh, I'm going to edit one and then record, it didn't work. I needed to do the Bible verses. They needed to come out. It didn't happen. So it's still a great idea, and it's still great content to have and have every time Christmas rolls around, to do an Advent series and do a different one. But I got to find a different way to do it, because this didn't work. We're still at J. We're going to finish them. They may not all always get. They may not all get out until the end of the or get out, if I can talk right, out to the 31st of January. But this didn't work. So the concept's great. I just need to do a better job, and I have to adjust it to find out, this way didn't work, I've got to do it this way. It doesn't mean scrapping the whole thing. It means starting differently to make it come together and work. So the growth means carrying forward what worked. Well, the Advent series worked. I don't care whether it got 1 view or it got 100 views. That's not why it was done. It worked, and I enjoy doing it. I just have to adjust the way I do it, so that when December rolls around, and I'm coming back from Indiana, if we have the grace of going again next year, and I'm coming back and tired, I'm not sitting there going, wait a minute, I got to put all these together and record them. This is not going to work. Okay? And I'm dealing with a chronic illness, so I've got to figure it out, right? It's like when you bake, it takes time to rise before the bread, or when you bake, bread or cookies is complete, but you have to fold in all the ingredients for it to be whole. Absolutely. I can, and New Horizons says, yes, I consider maybe the idea of changing my name to Hope because of the power of positivity and the name Hope. I love that. And hi, Simple, how you doing? Welcome on in. Put #blessed if you want people to connect with your channel. I also am finding out, okay, I was pretty good at doing thumbnails. But I did a test, okay? And my test was, when I got off, we made that project, the little bean, the little snowman for little bean. That one live had 1.16 views, 1,116 views. That has gotten, now I wish the thumbnails were higher, but the thumbs up, but that's okay. You guys want to go back and watch that, or at least go back and give it a thumbs up. That so far, that live got 1.1K views. Now I could sit there and think it was a fluke, but the one where we did, I have to remember where, I forgot, where I announced, maybe it was I announced. I can't remember which one it was. There was another one I did, and it had 99, almost 1,000 views. Okay, both were done with an AI, going to AI and having them help me with the thumbnail. There had to be something to it. And what I did, and what I'm finding out, here's one thing I'm finding out, is I was able to come up with several topics. And I thought this was a great topic, and I could lean right into it, and I loved it. I could come up with thumbnails relatively easily. And what did it do? It saved me time. And I was able to put up a live for tonight, live for tomorrow. Wednesday I'll probably be on the road. One for January 1st and one for the 2nd already. Easy within just moments. So what is it doing? I'm saving time, and it's making it easier for me. So I need to change how I'm doing them so that it can be more of a schedule, and it can be out. People know, oh, she's just not going to pop up and go live. She's got some kind of schedule happening, and it may be 12 o'clock one day or something, but at least they could go to our channel and say, oh, she's going to be live tomorrow. They've got some idea. So sometimes, again, I can spend time making thumbnails, or I can have some help doing it, and it just takes one less thing off my plate so that I can focus on other things that really matter. And so that's something to think about. So number 3, what does refinement actually look like? Well, refinement is small, initially change. So if you try to do a big thing, forget it. It's not going to happen. You've got to do small little changes. For instance, I love doing thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. But if I can have help doing them a little bit faster and giving me different ideas that I wasn't thinking of doing it that way or this way or that way or whatever, and I can have somebody help me with that, then I've taken something off my plate. That's a small change that I can make, and a small change that may significantly help me, right? And it's given me new ideas and new outlooks on certain things, and it'll help. So again, making small little changes, using ChatGPT and saying, oh, I can use it this way. It is a help, almost kind of like an assistant. It's taking a little bit of the weight off my shoulders, and it's helping me get more accomplished with what needs to get accomplished so I can focus on more important things. Tweaking habits instead of overwhelming your life. It takes 30 days to make a habit, but you can tweak things. Like I said, if you've been used to doing a 15-minute walk, and you say, I want to do a little bit more walking, then go from 15 minutes to 20 minutes. Don't try to do a whole exercise thing. Josh and I talked about it. We'd like to start going to the pool. I want to go 2 or 3 times a week. You know what happens every single time? We go once, and then we don't go for a couple weeks. So he said, Mary, we have got to start with 1 day a week. And I'm like, no, but I want to do no, 1 day a week. We've got to get that nailed down first. And we have to choose a day and go. 1 day a week, not all over the place. Because we go one, I love it, I enjoy it, I feel good. He gets in the pool, he gets walking and everything. And then we come home and say, okay, we're going to go tomorrow or the next day. And it doesn't happen. He's very much right. We need to start with 1 day. And then we keep that 1 day going for a consistent period of time. And then we can add another day. But we got to get good at getting the 1 day in, because we're not doing so good at that. And the pool is really good for me, and the pool is really good for him because he gets walking around without having to the bearing the weight. So it's really good. But I want to do too much, and I need to just stay, wait a minute, I need to do this, so I'm just doing 1. Improve focus, boundaries, and self-awareness. We think of putting boundaries out there for everybody else, but we need to think about putting boundaries in for ourselves, right? We need to say, wait a minute. We have got to put boundaries up for ourselves too as well. And maybe we have to, and I have a real hard time with that tremendously because I very much love crochet, and sometimes I get really involved with it and I'm like, oh, I just want to crochet and I'll start doing stuff after this, and then before I know it, hours and hours have gone past and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't get to do that because I was too focused on, making sure that I didn't do what was supposed to be done. And so that, of course, needs to happen so that You have to set boundaries up for yourself. If you're trying to get things done, you've got to set up boundaries so that you can be productive, whatever that may look like. You've got to be able to set them up. So making those boundaries for yourself as well, improving your focus. I need to do a better job this year to say, okay, and I've really enjoyed waking up and crocheting in the morning. That's great. And I've really enjoyed waking up, crocheting, and watching a movie. And kind of just allowing myself to have that time of waking up. But I really need to pay attention to what kind of day I'm having. And I need to pay attention to the time. And I need to set boundaries to say, okay, you're having a pretty good day today. And sometimes, quite frankly, because of the fibromyalgia, I can't always tell them I'm having a good day until I'm maybe an hour or two into it. Until I've kind of woken up and said, am I really having a good day? How is this going today? And so sometimes I need that time just to get the body warmed up, right? And so sometimes I need to say, okay, about an hour in, you need to decide where you're at. And then as soon as this is over, you need to stop, you need to go get a shower, and you need to start working. You can come back to this later, but you can't spend your whole day today doing this because you don't know what your tomorrow day is going to be like. So I need to do a better job of putting boundaries up for myself when it comes to crochet. I love it. But I also need to put the boundaries up so that things don't slide by the wayside, whatever that may look like. And so that's something to of course think of. All right, so the other thing is, after what it actually what redefinement mean or looks like, examples: better time management, healthy routines. You guys put in the chat if there's anything else you could think of. More intentional relationships. Okay, those are some examples of it. I need to do better at time management. And I need to figure out, okay, my time management works like this. How am I going to do it so it works in the context of dealing with a chronic illness? And I can tell you, this whole sciatic nerve that has just not gone away has really, really affected my life. And I have just said, okay, I fought it. I finally said today, I'm just going to have to live with it. Maybe it means for a half an hour every day I sit and put a heating pad on my side, and I get off of it and I just sit there, and it did help a little bit tonight, but it's really, really impacted how I'm kind of living my life. I would not have tried to go walking today, but I know that I'd like to try to do a little bit more of that, so that I can get in a little bit better shape as best as I can for this grandbaby coming. So I may want to say, listen, I'm going to start with 10 minutes. Then I'm going to increase it here and, little bit by little bit by little bit. Okay, let go without judgment. The only one that really matters is you. Now, I like I said, I'm going to be doing this one, and then I'm going to release a video from a faith-based perspective on this topic, because I think it's a great topic to have. So again, letting go without judgment. Not everything from last year needs to come with you. Sometimes we need to take last year's garbage and throw it out. Right? Whatever it is, maybe it's the way the friendships that fell apart. I've had to kind of say to myself, I let the family member know that we were expecting our first grandbaby, and I've had no response. And I finally said, with all the love in the world, okay, I love that person, I care about that person, and I pray about that person, but I'm going into 2026 with that person kind of no longer in my life. I've accepted it. It hurts like the dickens. It makes me very sad that we needed to fall apart after so many years of silliness. It doesn't mean that I'm not loved. It doesn't mean that I will not always love them. But I have said to myself, okay, I am going to just walk away. Have a wonderful life. Thank you for being in it for the time you were supposed to. And that person has, not that they don't want any pictures of the baby on social media. So that person will not even get a picture texted to them of what this baby looks like. You've been announced and know that it's coming. Other than that, have a wonderful life. And that was really, really hard for me. I was hoping against hope that person would come around, that we could start talking. And if it happens, it'll be a wonderful surprise. But sometimes you have to just let it go and realize that it can't come. That this was last year, waiting for them to call and see if we could work this out. I guess not. I'm not bringing it into next year. I don't have the energy to bring that into next year. So guess what? I'm not going to. I'm going to let that whole thing just kind of, hi Carmen, let that whole thing kind of just go by the wayside. Oh, I'm so sorry you're not okay. Let's put some ones in the chat for everybody that needs them, for anybody that doesn't know what ones are. Ones are for everybody that issues working on for 3 years. Ones are in the chat for anybody that needs it as prayer, thoughts, good vibes, whatever you all want to call it. But we can put some ones in the chat for the people to know that they're thought of. A lot was suffering from depression and bullying and hate. I can't take this anymore. I'm really sorry that you're going through that. I would really suggest, if you're struggling, Carmen, please, if you can reach out to anybody to talk with, please reach out to them. Nobody needs to suffer in silence. And I speak to my therapist every other week, and there's no shame in going to talk to somebody. There's no shame whatsoever. We can be here for support. We can be here to encourage you, to be friends and so forth like that. Try to. You have to get to a point, and I'm going to deviate for just a minute off this, but you got to get to a point of really saying to yourself, I'm proud of who I am. And if people don't like who I am, then they're not worthy in my life. And if people are bullying you, did that whole thing that sticks and stones don't break my bones, words will never hurt me. That's the biggest bunch of malarkey I've ever heard in my freaking life. My mom told me if I am okay, and I just lied to her and just told her that I'm okay, but I am. I wouldn't do that. Your mom is hopefully there to be, if she's there and someone you can talk with her. Don't hide it from her. Guys, moms know when something's off. I mean, my daughter can call me and she's an hour away, and I will be there saying, are you okay? How did you know that, Mom? I know from her voice. They know when something's not right. Reach out to somebody and go talk with somebody. The bullies, they're just bullies with a lot of hot air. They really should not hold any kind of gravity of who you are. You are yourself, and you have to get to a point of loving who you are, and that takes a long time sometimes. But don't give up. And, hiding about it's not the answer. And at least I can say this, I'm proud you've said it in here. Because if that's just the start of saying, I can go sit down and talk with my mom and she can help me, or go find somebody to talk to. You've started someplace. That's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. And so letting go without judgment. Letting go of compassion, unrealistic expectations, or comparison, unrealistic expectations, and burnout. So sometimes we try to compare ourselves to everybody else. Keeping up with the Joneses, right? We try to compare ourselves. It never works. I can't be Sandy or Carmen or Brooke or Simple. I can't be any of them. I have to be Mary. I have to be who I am. Nobody else is going to be like me but me. That's why I've said, and I did that one short one time that said, guess what? There's how many YouTube channels? But there can only be one YouTube channel like yours. Nobody else can have a YouTube channel like this one. There could be 10, 20 Blessed to Crochet channels. Only one of them is going to have me. And only one of them can be me. Nobody else is going to be me. It's impossible. If you believe whatever you believe, if you believe from a faith-based perspective, God only made one of me. Thank goodness. And I need to love who I am. Do I love everything about me? No. Do I wish I had longer hair? Absolutely. Do I wish it wasn't so thin? Absolutely. Do I wish I was a little thinner? Absolutely, right? But I'm who I am at the core of it. So I can't compare myself to anybody else because there's nobody else to compare myself to, because there's nobody else out there like me. It's not like looking at a car, right? And trying to put two cars together and try to compare them. You can't compare, hi Alfonso, you can't compare an apple to an orange because they're totally different. So why are we trying to compare ourselves to anybody else when there's only one you? No one can say the worst to me. I've already said it to myself. I've started the healing process to love myself. Now that I do nothing people say can hurt me because they don't know me. Absolutely. And I love what you just said, Carmen, because here's the thing. You've started to realize, okay, you got to love here. People have told me my entire life, you're too sensitive. Well, God made me sensitive for a reason. I raised a child on the spectrum. I needed to be sensitive. Okay? Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You have to look at yourself and realize there's only one you. Nobody else can be you. And there only has to be one you. Well, and here's the other thing, and I'm gonna say this. You have to do what's good for your mental health. If you're going to be on YouTube, okay, you gotta have a thick skin. And I've been told I was outside. Of course, I don't have much hair, so I was wearing my hat. Somebody said, she looks homeless. Somebody told me that I needed to put lipstick on. Or chaplet, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay? You have to have a very, very thick skin and realize that there are people that wake up in the morning, Carmen, right? And they get up just to do this for the day. And to me, I don't understand it because I would have no desire to wake up with hate in my heart. But they wake up to do exactly that and just be trolling. And trolling, unfortunately, can boost your YouTube channel. So I've had to say I have a very thick skin. People come in. If they're going to come in and say some stuff, my mods, if you're going to run your mouth too much, you're out of here. I am not going to put up with it. If you don't like it, leave. And if you don't leave, you're going to be... And if you come back again under another name, oh, well, we'll just do that. So you have to have a very thick skin to do it. And I think sometimes we have unrealistic expectations. And I would suggest, Carmen, maybe step away for a little. If you need to, step away for a little bit. Don't leave YouTube because, like tonight, you're coming in here, you're talking, you're finding that connection that is so, so important. It is more important than people realize. There's a connection, and YouTube, there are safe channels to be on. Maybe say, listen, I'm just going to stay within a certain circle so I still have connection, because you can go through, and I've gone through it, burnout when it comes to YouTube. YouTube is wonderful, but sometimes it can be a place where you need to step back for your own mental health, and sometimes you can have burnout. Releasing something isn't failure, it's growth, right? So sometimes we just need to say, this isn't working. This person needs to. All right, go ahead, Carmen. Do what you need to do, but please, if you need to, we have our link tree. We have the Lighthouse Beacons. Please realize that we're here if you do need someone to talk to, and go have some quiet, and know that you're loved by this community. I can tell you that. So sometimes we need to say to ourselves, listen, we just got to release it. Whatever it is, we got to let it go. We can't drag this into the new year. Okay? This is holding us back. We got to, bye-bye. Maybe it's a friendship. Maybe it's something you're doing. Maybe it's, habits you need to break. Whatever it is, sometimes we very much need to let that go. So redefinement isn't about being hard on yourself. It's being more honest with yourself. That's something we don't often do. We don't do that very often. Honest with ourselves. Okay? Again, redefinement isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being more honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Is this working? Is this not working? Do I need to improve here? How can I redefine myself? Build on what's already awesome. Look at the old homes that people find. Just think about them for a minute. Look at the old homes people come across and they buy. I recently came across it in my YouTube. It wasn't YouTube, Facebook. It was my Facebook, and somebody bought an old school. And they have totally taken it down, taken all the things, and made it into a home. They didn't just tear the whole building down. The whole building wasn't a mess. Did it need work and some TLC? Of course it did. But they had beautiful brick walls in the school. They redid those. They took down things. They put things. They made a beautiful room. They took an old, beautiful schoolhouse. It wasn't huge, but an old schoolhouse that wasn't being used anymore. They bought it, and they remade it into a new home. They redefined its purpose. It was an old schoolhouse. Now it's a home. They didn't just say, tear it down and start all over again. I think we forget. Hi, big dude. I think we forget. We are X amount of years into our life. We don't need to tear ourselves down and just make ourselves a whole new thing. We need to build on what's already there. So it's about being honest with yourself. What is working? What's not? What do I need to change? What do I don't need to change? But do it in small increments. If we set a list of 10 things, I guarantee you if we start them all at once, we're going to fail miserably. We literally have to do them and say, listen, I'm going to do 10 things. Maybe it's one thing a month. Maybe it's 12 things you do. I'm going to do this month. Maybe it'll take you 3 months to accomplish that one thing. But you have to build on what's already there, and you're pretty awesome as you are. So just because it's a new year doesn't mean you need to wipe out the whole yourself, yourself, and you got to build on what's already pretty amazing. Progress over perfection. Think about that for a minute. We want to be perfect. And sometimes it'll be the one thing that I kind of sit there and I think, well, let me crochet a little bit longer, right? I know what video I should do and what one I should do and get done. Let me just crochet for a little bit longer. And then before I know it, the day is over with and I haven't gotten to the video because I want it perfect. Well, it's never going to be perfect. Nobody is ever perfect. So we have to remember progress over perfection. Growth isn't loud or dramatic. Often it's quiet, and often we miss it. What we have really accomplished. I think, too, looking back to what you've accomplished over this past year is something that we should be doing. Almost like if you ever looked at the things where they say pros and cons list, pros for this, the cons for this. Have we ever gone back and said, you know what? We're going to write a list of all the things that we've accomplished this year that are really good. And maybe even think about doing that at the end of the month, every month. Just sit and start writing a list of all the things that you did over the month that you accomplished, right? That you could tell a difference, that were progress towards a goal, whatever it may be. Maybe things that you accomplished or wanted to accomplish that you were able to do. And at the end of the year, you have a pretty good estimate. Say, look at all the things that I have grown and the growth that I've done and in just this past time. So looking at the entire year, I can say, well, we got to 2K, right? We've gotten a lot of great content out. I can look back at my first live and realize, man, have I come a long way in my growth and learning to grow. Hi, Lo, Carbon Spin, welcome on in. Welcome from Tuber Chat. We love Tuber Chat. We love Kevin. He's awesome, and if you guys are a content creator, absolutely go check out Tuber Chat. And put in #blessed at the in the chat, and you can let people connect with your channel too as well. Here's another channel for those that are coming in from Tuber Chat. Of course, we have our Chip. Are You Locked In? So that's another channel to go check out as well. Big Dude, my milestone for this is coming up this year is to get to 5K before the end of 2026. Awesome. I barely accomplished anything this year as I have liked to. But look at the small accomplishments, New Horizon, that you have done. Absolutely look at the small little accomplishments that you've been able to do and go from there. And then, be able to see what the small changes are. Consistency matters more than motivation. Sometimes we lose our consistency, our motivation, right? After a while, we're motivated to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And sometimes, it burns itself out. But if we're consistent, right, that's going to trump motivation. That really honestly is going to matter more than being motivated to do something. If you're consistent, for instance, like I was saying about going to the Y and going to the pool. I want to do it 2 or 3 times a week. Guess what? It's not happening at all. My motivation of wanting to go 2 or 3 times a week and going to swim in the pool is there, but it burns out very, very quickly. So if I could just get used to going once a week with my husband and getting consistent to go once a week and go swimming in the pool, that would be better for a while till that habit's in place than me trying to do 2 or 3 times 1 week and then not going for 2 months. It would be much better if I just focused on doing once a week and making that consistent than trying to be motivated to do more and then absolutely fail. Small refinements lead to lasting changes. Again, we're going to go into the new year. For your YouTube channel, you may have new things coming out, or new plans, or new content, or whatever it may be, right? But you got to make those changes happen in small bites. You ever heard the thing? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You've got to do it in small bites. You can't just put big changes in front of you and expect for you to be able to take it easily. I remember when I was a PBX operator at a hotel. It was Radisson, and they were changing over to Marriott. And we had to actually go sit because even the computer system was changing. If you want to talk about overwhelmed, oh boy, head was spinning by the time I was done. And it took a week. And I remember that when we left the room, because they had samples for us to go through and learn the computer system, we came back in, and the gentleman said to me, or the gentleman said to the entire class, he said, you all forgot to do one thing. You forgot to log out before you left. Took our break. None of us thought about that because our head was spinning so much. And it took me a while to get on the phone and say, welcome to, thank you for calling Marriott. This is da-da-da-da-da. Because I was so used to, for I don't know how long before, I think maybe a year or something, hello, welcome, thank you for calling Radisson. I was so used to that. It took me a while before I tripped and got back in there. I don't know if you all are people that follow Eli Yoder, but I do as well. And he put up a post. He's going to be preaching at a church we may be going to, in a couple weeks, just to be able to see him. And he put on the post, I will be there. And he put this post up, and it said 2025. How often do we, in our things, put 2025? It takes us almost 2 or 3 months to get in before we're at 2026. So you've got to do small little refinements. They have lasting changes. Don't try to take too much off at one time. It never, ever works. Redefining success for the new year. Success doesn't have to look like a total transformation. Okay? You don't have to go in and be totally transformed. You just have to come in and do a little bit and a little bit. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Knight Rider. I'm a big Knight Rider fan. And what happened? He walked in, Michael Knight walked in to see his car after he had the surgery, and they redid his face and everything. The car looked exactly the same from the outside, except the paint was shinier. It was the same car from the outside, but it had a whole different transformation inside. It had a new steering wheel, I think. I don't know if it did or not. The whole electric panel, everything was changed. From the outside, it looked exactly like his car. From the inside, it looked totally different. So again, we don't need to do a total transformation. It's not going to happen. It doesn't mean that if you try to do all these things and you're someone that does accomplish them, that, you know what? Great if you accomplish them. But it doesn't mean if you don't that you're an absolute failure. It means, wait a minute, this isn't working. I have to take a notch back. I've got to take a step back because I'm taking on too much at once. Okay? It's like what we're trying to do with Christina right now. We're trying to find ways we can take things off her plate. Maybe it's calling a doctor for her, making an appointment. Maybe it's if her husband can't go to an appointment with her, we can go and say, well, we'll come and pick you up and take you to an appointment. Maybe it's, picking her some Sam's Club chickens when we go to Sam's Club and putting them in the freezer and giving it to her at the church when she comes to Sunday. So that this way she's not having to cook dinner one night. All those things or things we can take off her plate and help her. And sometimes we put too much on our plate and we're trying to balance too much. And then it's like with those plates that they do when they spin, and they keep adding more and more plates, and eventually the plates all fall because they're trying to spin too many at once. And I think we tend to do that. It can look like balance, peace, or confidence. I think we need a balance. I realize that one of my reasons I've kind of gone back a little bit, of course I have the blanket for indigo that I'm trying to get done, but I think some of it is that I kind of stepped away a little bit from crochet, and that wasn't in my life as much, and I found out I really missed it. So I've got to kind of get back to doing a more balanced. So I'm doing stuff for the channel, I'm still doing stuff here, I'm still doing stuff there, but I'm putting in a balance for everything. And I need to do a better job at balancing that. But I think also you need to have the confidence in yourself that you're a pretty spectacular person, just as you are. Just because we're going into a new year does not mean we need to throw they've heard the hers. I've never really totally understand the saying. I think I have. You throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't just because the bathwater's dirty, you just put in fresh water. That's what we need to do. We're still pretty amazing people. And your version of success is allowed to evolve. And here's the thing about it. Your version of success is not everybody's version of success. Mr. Beast is very popular on YouTube. Everybody wants to be Mr. Beast. Everybody wants to be, have that kind of wealth and success. Would I like to have that? Absolutely. I'm not saying that. But I can't get to Mr. Beast's level. I may one day, who knows? I can't take his path to success because that's not me. I need our success to Blessed to Crochet's success done our way. So you can learn from other people, but make sure your vision of how to get there, whatever that is, from maybe increasing your water, walking more, doing more on YouTube, doing whatever it may be, that your version of success is yours, and allow room to grow. Okay, allow it to involve and embrace that too as well. I mean, I didn't think in this year, and I have to actually put that up on Nightbot, I didn't think that this year that I would be, necessarily adding grandma content to the channel. Well, guess what? I'm going to be adding grandma content. And this channel has involved Mr. Beast. You just look him up. You'll see who he is. He's very, very popular on YouTube. But I didn't think I'd be doing grandma content, but I am going to be doing it because my life is involved to be a yaya and to welcome this new grandbaby. And so the content is evolving in a way I didn't think was going to evolve in 2026. And I'm glad. Absolutely. Reflection questions that I wanted to ask you all. What worked for me? This is questions also. If you don't want to answer them in this chat, then that's fine. Think of them for yourself to be asked. What worked for me last year that I want to build on? Okay? So one thing that really worked for us too is starting to add the ability for making sure that every live we do is absolutely put connect and grow, putting you guys the ability to put in your channel in the chat. That's really helping. Spreading our, getting out there more and so forth and so on. But we're absolutely, doing all of that. So again, what worked best for you last year? We want to build on that. We don't want to tear it down. We're not tearing down the old schoolhouse. We're building upon what worked. And here's another thing too. If something didn't work, don't trash the idea. Maybe see if there's a way you could revamp the idea. You can change it up a little bit So maybe it didn't work this way, but you could test it out this way. Maybe, for instance, you were walking 15 minutes in the morning, and you don't have an extra 5 minutes to walk, in the morning. So maybe you have to switch. In order to walk 20 minutes, you have to do a nighttime walk or an evening walk versus a morning walk. So you may have to switch the time of when you do your walk just to be able to fit it in. So you're building on that. Maybe, middle of the afternoon, you sit and just have an extra glass of water and add that in. So you're building upon it instead of just tearing everything down. What needs refining instead of replacing? Just like I was talking about. What needs refining? You're refining things instead of replacing it. There's certain things that we can do. Like I know I absolutely need to put boundaries on the amount of time I can crochet in the morning. I still think I need that time in the morning, and I'm very thankful for that time in the morning where I can crochet. And I need to also, I'm going to, just so you all know, Blessings Through Connection will be back in. Blessing Through Connection is our other channel. We had a little bit of a computer snafu, and then this month has been a little difficult for me just because, it's the first year without my aunt. She passed in March, and then I had another friend pass the same day my aunt did, and I just found that out recently. And my dad passed. Hi, Jake. My dad passed on New Year's Day, and my grandfather on New Year's Eve. So the part of the end is hard for me too. So, but Blessing Through Connection is our other channel. We are going to get back to that. That channel solely is for absolute connection. The blinders are on so that you guys can come in. Whether you have a channel, whether you don't have a channel, you can find channels, you can connect with channels, and we are going to get back to that because we want to grow that one as well, and we want to give back that way. And we're going to just start fresh on January the 1st. No, I'm sorry. I fibbed. When is it? I'm going to look. Okay, January 1st starts next Thursday. So on January 5th, we're going to start with new shout outs. I'm not going to try to do them. I'm just going to go back to what we kind of did before. Nope, I don't do that. I'm trying to figure out how to get this down. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to just start off doing that all together at once instead. So be looking out for shout outs. I actually redid the shout out thing so it looks even a little bit better. But we'll start shout outs again. We're going to start the first time we're going to start out the new year with shout outs for all of our mods who have channels. We just want to thank them all for their time that they come in here. And so we'll be certainly for 100% giving them the shout outs for the first bit of time. But we're going to start on January the 5th, and we're just going to start all fresh starting then and so forth. So we'll get back to channel shout outs, but we're going to start that on January 5th. I just lost track of it last week. I kind of lost track of it this week, and I thought we're just going to start off all new fresh on Monday. So, and then the other question is, where can I simplify instead of, complicate? And that's kind of what I'm using. I don't want to totally use AI in the sense I want to be careful how I use it, because I think we all need to be careful how we use it. But I want to use it in the responsible way. But it is something that is actually simplifying. Hi, Loco, is actually simplifying and taking some of the stuff off my plate. So it's actually helping to simplify things. So I am using it for thumbnails, for help with songs and so forth. And so I am using it. I'm using it for topic discussions that we can have just because it is really kind of assisting me. I also have dyslexia, and here's another great thing too as well. I have dyslexia, so sometimes when I write stuff, I don't write it as clear as what I need it to be. So this way I can put it through ChatGPT and say, okay, can you reword this to sound better? Because I tend to not always do that from when I write stuff. And it has become very helpful to do that too as well. So again, I'm using it in ways to just help me to be able to, uh, do stuff. It's also been a great way to help ideas with merchandise and so forth. So I'm using it to assist, and that's one thing I've done. I need to say, okay, today I'm sitting down and going to do all the shout outs for the month. And they really don't take that long, but I need to do them so they're planned out. I also need to do the hubs for simple stupid. I love that. Absolutely. I'm also need to do the channel hubs, so they're out every day at midnight, and I need to do those so they're pre-planned. And I need to say, okay, today I'm going to sit down and do those. So there's things that I need to do to make it. Yes, it needs to be an assistance tool, and I'm finding out it's actually been very helpful. And like I was able to sit there and plan. I actually was like, where am I going to fit all these topics in? Next little bit, was able to have enough topics all the way through Saturday. I'm like, yay, and I'm like, thank you for all that. Now, with that being said, I'm still going to do a nightly check-in, whether I go live or not, on 9 o'clock every day except for Mondays and Sundays. But I want to check in with everybody, see how they're doing, whether we come live or not. But, you've got to look at where you can simplify things, especially if you're dealing with chronic pain, if you're taking care of a special needs child. Those can be very overwhelming things to deal with. If you're dealing with chronic pain, sometimes your day is dead, or is unfortunately run by how you are feeling. If you're tired, if you had struggles, if you had trouble sleeping the night before, if you have, today's just low energy. Today I was really having trouble with my sciatic nerve. And I was just tired. I found myself really tired and low energy, and I really didn't have much energy for much. And so guess what? My day was kind of navigated where I'm like, I should be recording and I should be doing this. I didn't have any of it. It wasn't in me. So I needed to pull back a little bit and re-look at my day, even though it was kind of frustrating to me. And I finally said to myself, I said, well, we've got, I think, half the alphabet with the Advent devotionals. Mary, if they don't get out till the end of the end of January, it's fine. The content still will be there. It will still be valid, whether or not it's Christmas or not. And then people can go back to it after and use it next year for Advent and get the whole thing out there. So, you have to do what you have to do, and you're only one person. And I've had to say that to myself a lot this month. So this year isn't about becoming someone else. You've got to get to the point of being proud of who you are. Okay? It's about becoming more aligned with who you are, who you already are. You've got to look at yourself. Okay? All right, well, have a great night. Thank you for coming in. You have to look at yourself. And that song I'll be putting up in a few minutes, I'll be releasing it so that you all can hear it. It may not happen until next week. You all have to look at yourselves. Okay, and decide what is going to work for you, what is not, and decide out who you are. Who are you? And then go from there. Okay? I can't be, there's a wonderful woman that comes Yes, and that's what we say. We say here, being proud of being you, because there's everyone else is taken. There's a wonderful woman that comes and walks Mocha, because my husband and I are disabled and my mom is elderly. She comes quite frequently and walks Mocha, except for today because it was just nasty outside. I can't be her. So I need to be me, and I can't compare myself to her either. And I'm not going to, and I don't want to. Refinement is quiet, but it lasts longer. A new year does not mean a new you. It means a more intentional one. Guys, we have to be intentional of how we're going forward, right? And what we're doing to help us be better us. You can't look at so and so. You can't look over. You have to look at yourself and say, I have to look at myself and how I can be the best me. That does not mean looking at anybody else. And when we think of redefine, I think if we look and say, for a new year, I'm not going to make a New Year's resolution because they never, ever work. I'm going to redefine who I am. I'm going to build on what's already here because there's some good stuff here. And then you build upon that. And if it takes all year, it takes all year to be able to do that. Do whatever you need to do to make yourself pretty spectacular. Because you are spectacular. You're a pretty awesome person. And there's nobody that can be you but you. You've got to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to redefine myself. And do yourself a favor. Don't try to do it on January 1st. Go into the new year and say, you know what? I'm not going to jump right into this January 1st. Let me take a little bit of time just to be used to the fact that we're not in 2025 anymore. We're in 2026. I'm going into 2026 going, you know what? Not only is it a new year, but I'm going to be a yaya for the first time this year. I'm going to be a grandma for the first time this year. This is going to take some time to get used to. So I think if we try to go in and say, okay, get the walking going, get this, get the walk. No. Just take a little bit of time to get used to going from 2025 to 2026. Give yourself a week. Put things down that are bite-sized pieces to refine you a little bit every day. And we have to remember that's what we do our entire life. We are continuously refining ourselves. I don't expect to be a better grandmother than I was a mother. Am I going to be different? Absolutely. Will I be able to do things with my grandchildren that I wasn't able to do with my child? Absolutely. Because I wasn't trying to hold all the things in the air as a mom. And I can just see my daughter saying, well, you didn't do that when I was young because I was just trying to keep all the balls in the air, all at the same time. But I'm wiser. I know more, than I did when I was raising my daughter. And she's going to go through the exact same things. I'm going to 2026 feel mighty proud of my achievements and accomplishments. Guys, we have come up with a tremendous shirt. And when we release the new merch, hopefully on January the 2nd, it will continue to grow. And that's awesome, by the way, local. Continue to grow the merch store, so we'll be adding things in. We're going to allow you guys to have 10% off. But there is a shirt that is going to say, and you'll see one of the designs for that. There's 2 for the ladies and 2 more for the males. It says, be proud be proud of being you. Everyone else is taken. There's one with a heart for the ladies, and then the Blessed to Crochet crew. There's one with a tiger for the guys, and then Mr. Blessed to Crochet. And with one will have our Blessed to Crochet, our new Blessed to Crochet logo. It still has the heart, everything. Still has that. It's just a lot more professional, and it's round, so it's not going to take me so long to put on merchandise. You can either have the logo on the left or the right sleeve. It's up to you, whatever you want. But we will offer a discount, and we are going to start offering a discount for any of our members. So if you're a member of the Blessed to Crochet crew, you'll have a certain discount off for the thank you very much, and the Blessed to Crochet disco balls. You'll have a certain discount off for that, for just being a member. So we're going to add that as value to both of that for our merch store. But anyway, we're going to show off some of the new stuff coming out on Saturday. I just hope to get it as much loaded. We'll be adding more products in the store and all that kind of stuff. But again, I'm having a little issues uploading it on this computer for some reason. So it's taking me a little bit longer, but Alfonso and I are working together to help us get her done, as they would say. We're going to take a moment, and we're going to play the song that I hope will be something I will upload it as a video. I just want you to really listen to the words, and hopefully this can be a song that you can go back when you really need that encouragement, to just kind of make sure that you are really thinking about how you're looking at this year. And hopefully you can absolutely 100% have it kind of be as a fight song a little bit, because that would be something to think about. But anyway, I will go ahead and play it for you all. And the 2 channels I just dropped are my daughter's channels. If you want to connect with her, she's not too far away from 500 on the cosplay wardrobe one. So we're going to take a moment, and I'm going to let you all listen to this song. I think it's awesome, guys. But again, I'll put it out in a video. But hopefully this can be an inspiring song for you guys to kind of, make that more redefined you over this year for sure. So let me go into, heard the phone. I just wanted to be able to hear it myself, and I can't hear it while the computer's playing. All right, here you guys go.
Calendar flips, the lights shine bright. Midnight whispers you'll be alright. Everyone's saying start again, but you've been growing right where you've been. Every step, every tear you cried, every door that closed, every time you tried. Nothing was wasted, nothing's untrue. It was all shaping the heart of you. You don't have to run from yesterday. It brought you here in a quiet way. Not a new no disguise, just truer words and open eyes. You don't have to change who you are to break through. Not a new you or refine you. A refined you. When the year unfolds and the days come through, remember this truth: you're not becoming someone new. You're becoming more you.
I don't know about you all, but I absolutely love that song. And hopefully it reminds you that you are just redefining yourself. You're becoming more spectacular than you already are. You're building upon what you already are. Not, oops. Forgot I was still on. You're not tearing everything down from start. You're not tearing down the schoolhouse. You're building on it. We're going to take a moment and we're going to thank our members. It's never expected. It is appreciated. We just take a moment to thank our members. We have 2 memberships. It's 99 cents for the thank you very much membership that supports the channel. We're also going to, of course, add a discount for our merch store onto that membership. And then we have a $2.99, which is a Blessed Disco Ball membership. They get out the videos before anybody else does, and we're going to be adding a discount on there too as well. And we'll be changing that up every couple of months for the code for that, for both of those memberships. But we'll be adding onto there as well. So we just want to take a moment and thank them. They do help support the channel, and we're very, very grateful. But we're grateful for all our community. Whether you're a member or not, we're just grateful that you're here and that you showed up for sure. So we're going to take a moment and just say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Whew. Thank you very much.
And I get to see Elvis at the very end of it, which I'm very thrilled about. And it also reminds you to be proud of being a disco ball, because our disco ball saying, which is disco ball is made up of a bunch of pieces of broken glass. You're not broken, but you're a beautiful disco ball, especially when the light hits it. So, and that's not totally what the disco ball saying is, but it's not happening tonight. It's coming together. The words aren't coming out. But it reminds you that. It reminds you just thank you very much. You guys are truly the blessing behind Blessed to Crochet. We are so grateful for all of you, for all the community, for the support. We're very, very, very grateful. But again, give us your suggestions of what you think. Add some things onto that. Add some suggestions you would have as you're looking for ways to redefine you this year. Maybe answer some of those questions. Again, what worked for you last year that I want to build on? What needs to be refined instead of replacing? Where can I simplify instead of complicate? And maybe by putting something in the chat or in the comments after this video is over with, may help somebody else say, I didn't think of that. So maybe you have some suggestions by putting it in. And of course, that also puts your footprint. If somebody stops by and watches this video, they may check out your channel because they'll see that you've commented on this channel, on the live. So tomorrow we're going to talk about, I have to remember what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So tomorrow's live, and if you can go over there and spread it out, share it out, and give it some thumbs up, we'd appreciate it. Tomorrow we're going to talk about choosing connection over perfection this year. Again, I think we forget the value of connection and looking at that. So we're going to talk about connection versus perfection. And then, of course, on the 31st, we'll probably be doing a live from our car. My son-in-law has had a death in the family, so we're going to go up and just be supporting for the family. And so then on the 1st, we're going to talk about how to turn your YouTube channel into a legacy channel. On the 2nd, which is Friday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Friday, we're going to talk about turning every moment into a legacy. So we're going to talk about how to do that. And then on Saturday, hopefully I can get everything done. Either otherwise, I'll have to push that back another week. But we're going to talk about New Year, new merch. So we're going to talk about that. Just let you know what we have coming up, how we designed it, which was done through ChatGPT, which helped us come up with some ideas for new merchandise. But then, of course, we want to talk about some of the sayings, why they're so important that are going on the merchandise, and we'll be, of course, adding things to it and so forth. So we hope to show that off. You got to see a little sample from the thumbnail on one of the new things that are going on, the new merch. So we're excited about it. We'll be putting out our logo too as well. That's going to be new. Here's the thing with our new logo, we didn't throw away the old one. We just took that one and redefined it, and it looks so good. It looks even better than before. It still keeps some of the same elements that are there. It just, again, redefines it for to carry us to kind of up it a little bit, just kind of up the level and so forth. And be looking out too for the 31st. I'm going to get off of this, have some water, and then I'm going to actually record the video for Dog the Bounty Hunter. We do have a cap from him, and we will be, thanks to Faith and Tackle, we will be putting a giveaway out starting December 31st, running until January 31st. You have to be within the continental United States, which is the lower 48. You have to be 18 years or older, and of course you have to... we're going to ask you to please be subscribed to the channel and so forth in order to go for it. But, we'll be putting that out for anybody that's interested in participating in that. And it'll also be either a $10 gift card to Hobby Lobby or Amazon of your choosing, as well as 2 soap caddies as well. So we'll be putting that out as well. So we'll be doing that. So with that being said, I'm going to head out of here. I'm going to get some stuff done, and I will also be doing a faith-based as well on this topic as well, because I figured it really needed to look by 2 different perspectives. But I wanted this to be a more non-faith-based. It's not that I have anything against that. I'm a believer, but I also don't want to turn away people that don't believe that. I want everybody to feel welcome and inclusive, and I don't want to, I want that to be separate, and then those people that would like to listen to the more faith-based one can listen to that version of it. So with that being said, hey, hi Ambi. With that being said, I'm going to head out of here, and I will be releasing that song shortly, I promise. So again, be proud of being you. Everyone else is taken. Keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required. We have you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody, and keep warm, and see y'all later. And stay connected, everybody. It's so important. Bye-bye, everybody.
So proud of being